Alright people, how's the weekend gone? Bold Spike just asked me could they sit in on this video, so said it was alright, you know what I mean? Just thought I'd come on and do a video about the Paige Doherty case, which happened like 8 years ago. But before I get into it, had a bit of a mad couple of days. So Friday morning, the door goes and I've opens it, right? Two coppers standing there, like, can we talk to you? And I'm thinking it's something to do with my Wayne's Ma, right? So they've come in and they're like, we're arresting you for a breach of the peace for last year, August last year, right? And I'm like, are you kidding me on, man? And they're like, no, we need to take you to London Road Police Station. And I'm like, what the fuck? So they wouldn't tell me the details. They said to me they need to take me to London Road for questioning and blah blah blah. And I'm just thinking, I'm getting weekended here. My fucking head was going 100 mile an hour, know what I mean? So a breach of the peace that happened August last year, I couldn't think what they were talking about. But basically, when I got to the interrogation room, if you want to call it that, they were asking me questions about an argument I had with somebody outside the shop last year. But I just no commented all the questions, and after the interview stopped, one of the coppers actually said to me, we're just dropping this charge, we're just throwing it out. I think they were kind of saying it wasn't even anything they should be kind of responding to anyway, but because the other person had made a complaint, they had to kind of do something. I says, how the fuck's it took you from August last year to March to catch up with me? And they says, we couldn't find your address. No like these. But no, they were, I need to give them their due, they were totally brand new with me, and they didn't even handcuff me or nothing, know what I mean? And I actually said that to them, and they're like, well, you're being good with us, so, but I just was like, what the fuck, man, I think there's going to get weekended and fuck knows what, so, mental, know what I mean? Like, just, obviously because of me being a single parent, that could have just really affected my life. And I know some people might go, oh well, maybe you shouldn't be arguing. Well, at the end of the day, like, people have arguments, fuck's sake. It's not like I'm out doing what I used to do, do you know what I mean? I never used to have verbal arguments in the street. It would just be straight up assaults, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to like sit and sugarcoat it, or that was just the way it was. Like, I couldn't stand have an argument back in the day. Obviously I'm a bit older now and grown a bit of brain, and I'm a bit long in the tooth, know what I mean? So but aye, fuck it. So that was that. And then yesterday I was at my in-house Jujitsu competition. Now, I've only been gone here for like August last year, not even close to figuring out what I'm doing in here yet. And the in-house competition was yesterday, and my girlfriend had came to stay with me on the Friday. We'd had a few beer and that, so the next day I'm like, what am I doing? I'm going to get lettered down here. Like, I was actually debating no going, but she ended up fucking dropping us off. Shout out Tina, cheers for make me go. And I swear to God, right, we get in there. It wasn't as mobbed as I thought it was going to be. So I was in the super heavy category, which is like the heaviest category they had. There was only three of us, right? And the three of us in that category had to fight each other twice. So the two guys that I had to fight, they were fighting first each other. One's broke his arm, hadn't he? they had to phone him an ambulance, and he was gonna, man, his arm was like twisted right up. I was like, holy fuck, like, I just want to make it home in one piece. Didn't even have a strategy or nothing, I was just totally winging it, man. So, see, the guy didn't break his arm. I got talking to him. He was telling me he was in the Navy, and I was like, mate, you're a fucking unit, man. I was talking to him after it. Guy swung me about twice. Like, they were saying to me, oh, you did well to hold out that long. Like, he tapped us twice. Guy, I've never fought anybody so strong in all my fucking life, man. This guy was just a different level of strength, right? And he's like, I played rugby all my life, but and then I was in the Navy, blah blah blah, and right away, because I'm into reading about like foreign affairs and military operations and all that, and I'm like, what did you do in the Navy, mate? He's like, I was 45 Marine Commando, and I'm like, what? Like, fucking hell, man, fucking mental, but I was just happy to get home without getting it and broke, you know what I mean? I got a wee silver medal and that, but felt completely undeserved, man. I think I just got it for showing up and taking it down, know what I mean? Fuck. But, oh, what, it was crazy, man. Like, I can still feel, see, like, in here's pure sore as fuck, because basically done a move where it just feels like he's just basically, you need to tap, because it just feels like your arm's about to fucking, this bit of your arm's just got to snap clean off, man. And no shame in it, know what I mean? Fuck's sake. But, aye, so that was a mad couple of days that I'd had. But fuck it, innit, man. It's what my pal in there says to me. He says, you showed up, know what I mean? Fuck it. Especially after sitting, waiting up the next morning, like, what the fuck am I doing, gone here, know what I mean? I'm going to get a pure showing up. But I just held on long enough, but wasn't good enough, was it? Guy was just an absolute raging bull, man, know what I mean? And he was about 6 foot as well. I'm only 5'10". This guy was just a pure machine, know what I mean? But it was an experience. So that's that. So for any that don't know about this case, this poor wee lassie, right? I remember reading about this. I was in Kilmarnock prison at the time, right? It's quite a high profile case, right? This 15-year-old wee lassie, Paige Doherty her name was, quite small, for what I've read and watched and that, quite a wee lassie, you know what I mean? And came for like decent family, like, or wee pals, like, you could tell they were the kind of the kind of kids that they're not going to be any issues when they're older. They're going to grow up, get married, have kids, fucking be success stories, know what I'm talking about? Like, compared to people like myself, know what I mean, who were kind of running about the streets, drinking, get fucking gang fighting, getting up to all sorts of skullduggery, know what I mean? Could just tell she kind of came from a decent family and all that. In March, I believe the 19th, so it'll be her anniversary soon, the poor lassie, know what I mean? March the 19th, 2016 was the day that I believe that this actually happened. So it was a Saturday morning. She'd stayed with her wee pal the night before, and she left in the morning to go to her job, right? She had I think it was a part-time job, as a hairdresser, and on her way to work, she would have to take 2 buses, which is quite standard if you're trying to, because I believe she had to get from Clydebank to Kirkmantilloch. Now, I don't think there's any direct routes, so you would have to get a bus into Glasgow Town Centre, kind of like where I stay as well. Like, if I have to, like, so if I'm going to a Rangers game or whatever, I have to get like a bus, or if I was going to, say, fucking, let's say I was going to visit somebody in Berlin just for talking's sake, right? I would have to get a bus into the town and then a connecting bus, right? Obviously, so I believe that's what she had to do to get to her job. And back at 8 in the morning, she's been into this sandwich roll shop, and to get breakfast basically, and basically what's happened is she's no showing up for work, and I believe that she was quite active on her social media, as a lot of people are these days, especially, you know, your younger generation. And our pals were kind of noticing how she wasn't posting on, say, her Instagram or Facebook, whatever, because, say, she's quite active. She wasn't posting it, and I believe it was a couple of her wee pals had noticed that there was no activity on the social media. And I think one of them was either speaking to her own mum, or I believe it was Paige's mum, and was kind of pointing out how nobody's heard for her, nobody's seen her, is she alright, blah blah blah. But I don't think the alarm had been raised at that point, because I think her mum was just kind of like, maybe she's busy, maybe she's fucking, her phone's ran out of charge, whatever, you know, just, you don't think what actually happened to this poor lassie is what actually happened. Like, nobody, no, even me, I don't expect to be living close by to where somebody would be capable of doing that kind of shit, know what I mean? So I believe that later on in the day, when this poor lassie would have been usually returning home for work, she didn't appear. So I think she's been reported missing when the mum realised that her daughter hadn't made it to work. Because I think they just thought she'd maybe went to work, and then like maybe after it, like, went to, say, like, some kind of wee party, whatever, know what I mean? Like, we all done it back in the day, know what I mean? Fuck, some people still do it, you know what I mean? But by all accounts, I think she's a good lassie, responsible, like, no jumping about, well, she had a part-time job at 15, know what I mean? And you can just tell with people that are just straight shooters, know what I mean? So obviously there's been kind of, when the alarm's been raised, there's been kind of, obviously the police have had to get involved and all that, and I imagine that must have been just a surreal, anxiety-ridden, fucking horrible time, especially for our family and our wee pals, know what I mean? Because we always see things like this on the telly or in the papers, but you never think it's going to touch your life, know what I mean? And even for all the people that I've met in prison who were convicted of just horrendous murders, you never think it's going to touch you, even though, like, because as I've said before, like, I wasn't some fucking, like, gangster or master criminal or bank, whatever, anything like that. Like, obviously I'd done a lot of mad shit back in the day, but I don't ever remember anything like that kind of being so close to home, do you know what I mean? Even though I had a cousin that was murdered a few years before this happened, but it's just, it feels fucking strange, you know what I mean? Even though someday this happened to, let alone what happened to this poor wee innocent lassie, you know what I mean? So when the police have got involved, they've started obviously canvassing, checking CCTV, questioning potential witnesses, stopping buses, all that shit. But I believe that the major investigation team at the in the initial stages of the murder inquiry was kind of stumped for suspects, because obviously, as any murder squad detective will tell you, 99 of murders are committed by somebody who knows the victim. So I believe that they must have had to have ruled out all the immediate family and friends, and like that's no, like I know some people might say that's fucking shocking, not, but these people are just doing their job. They're just trying to find out where this poor wee lassie is and the things happened to her. Do you know what I mean? So this was the Saturday, and the wee lassie's body was found a short distance away in kind of brush area, kind of small wooded brush area, like bushes and all that. And the injuries that this poor lassie sustained was just fucking absolute fucking horrific, man. Like 60, I believe it was like 62 stab wounds. Just like, what the fuck, man. That is indicative of an enormous, like, venting of absolute rage. That is just, I find it hard to kind of express what it must be like to feel that raging, to be able to stab a 15-year-old wee lassie 61 times. Now, there wasn't just 61 stab wounds, according to the medical reports in that. There was like, I think it was somewhere in the region of like 200, maybe 200 plus wounds. Like there was like, I think there was like maybe some defensive wounds, some slash marks and all that. So we're talking a fucking absolute frenzy, man. We're talking just a level of violence that is almost hard to kind of envisage. It's no like, I don't believe this was some big premeditated attack. This was just an absolute, whoever did this just completely snapped. And it turned out, because when the police were kind of canvassing the local, when they'd seen the CCTV, the row of shops where she was last seen, she was seen entering this roll shop, the sandwich shop, and they were at the guy who was the owner. His name was John Letham, right? She just came in, bought a roll and she left. Like, alright. Obviously they need to go back and fucking check that, know what I mean? And believe that they've checked all they've trawled all the CCTV and ended up noticing this wee lassie's walked in there and no walked back out. But not only that, when she's walked in the shop at the back 8 in the morning, say about a short time later, he's ran out the shop in an absolute fuck. He's ran out the shop, ran down the fucking street to go and get his motor back up to the shop. And then he's running into the shop. There's a couple of doors down. He's buying like fucking bin bags and bleach or whatever the fuck it was. And then he's been seen on CCTV carrying something out the shop, which was this wee lassie's body, wrapped in, I think it was bin bags, covered anyway, and put it in the boot of his motor. And he's done all this in broad fucking daylight. In the shop, the distance between the front door of his shop to the boot of his motor was a good maybe, say, 20 yards, something like that. It wasn't back right up to the shop where he could just come out with it. So we're talking like during the fucking day when people are all walking about and getting in out of the news agents next door and not. So I find that a bit fucking a bit a bit I don't want to say bold, like this guy's bold. This guy's just an absolute fucking coward of the highest magnitude. But what was he no waiting for darkness for? Because like he owned the shop, he had the keys, he could have just kept him there, or like I don't know. I thought that was like fuck's sake, man. Do you know what I mean? But it was pretty apparent for that CCTV that he looked in a panic for he was just zooming about all the fucking gaff. Know what I mean? Trying to cover this up, and I believe that he'd made a very serious attempt to cover up the evidence in the back of the shop, which would obviously have been heavy blood staining. Do you know what I mean? It must have been an absolute fucking nightmare in that shop. And I believe that he stored this poor lassie's body in it like a garden shed or something and then dumped it. But while he's had it stored there, I think he went and fucking drive to Loch Lomond. He's got a wife and a kid, or two kids, I believe, this guy. And when the police have noticed on the CCTV that she's not come out that shop, and then noticed the unusual activity on this guy's part, they've just thought, yeehaw, we've got this scumbag, not him. So they went down and nicked him. And then everybody's kind of, in the local communities, all found out who this guy was. And it was weird, the amount of people who said like, oh, I would never ever have fought him, he's the last guy I would have fought to. I would have had more chance, I would have thought I had more chance winning the jackpot than it being him. I would have never give those second thought. Well, this is it, innit? MD's capable of doing something like that to a 15-year-old schoolgirl is probably, they just blend in. They're like, I just don't get how somebody like him, who it turned out had no criminal history, didn't even have a fucking parking ticket. I don't even think he took a paracetamol for this, or he was that square, which kind of makes you gonna go, well, where did this violence come from? Because I think it's mental that somebody like him could have no violent history, no history of beating his missus, no history of fucking domestic violence, any sort of picking on vulnerable people, because when they obviously he when he was in the police station, because I watched some of the interrogation video, and he just seemed so meek and mild, and like seemed like a pure nobody. Like he didn't come across as like some big kind of in your face guy that would fucking twist your head off. And it just made me think, because it said in court, he's no history of violence, no history of this, no history of that. He accepts it's sort of character, but he claimed that this lassie came in to ask for a job, and when he says he couldn't give her a job because she was so young, she threatened to tell people that he had inappropriately touched her. Now, judging for this wee lassie's kind of background and her family and the way she went about her daily life, like, that's just fucking nonsense, man. This guy was in his 30s, and I believe that he either came on to her. No, I want to stress here that this poor lassie had been obviously brutally murdered, but she hadn't been in any way sexually assaulted, right? So I just want to kind of point that out. But I do believe that he made some sort of advance to her, which you need to remember, she's a 15-year-old wee lassie, probably looked younger, and I believe that he must have seen her before in the community, because he'd moved there, say, about 4 or 5 years before this all happened. So he's obviously embedded in the local community, people in the shop buying fucking rolls and sausages, whatever. And I believe that a lot of people that knew Paige had used this guy's shop. So there would have been even if it was just on the surface kind of pleasantries, hello, how you doing, not, but I believe that he's seen her, and some fucking seed has just took root in his fucking warped mind, and he's probably, if there was any job being offered, it was probably him that offered it and no her that asked for it. I just think that this lassie already had a part-time job, but you never know, maybe she was trying to fucking move closer to home, whatever, I don't know, but I don't believe that there was any sort of exchange on her part. I believe it's definitely been him, because the reason that I think that is, what kind of level of uncontrollable rage does it take for you to do that to this poor wee lassie? I believe that the reason for that is this same reason that in a previous video I explained about that guy Alexander Pacto. They would rather kill and be called a murderer than be labelled a beast. I know that sounds maybe mad to some people, but the thing is with this scumbag, like, in prison he could just be like on protection. He wouldn't be classed as sex offender. That's a totally different ballgame. They're all got their own fucking, they've got their own jail, they've got their own block, their own hall, whatever. Like, but with protection it's different. They'll just get guys in. No, I wasn't on protection, I want to point that out, but obviously I know how it works. So he would have been like a Pacto. He would have just been in with the fucking guys that went on protection because there was they grassed on somebody dodgy, or they had grassed on somebody in the jail, or they had say stolen a woman's handbag. So their kind of protection in sex cases are different. Sex cases are own protection as well, but they're in their own bit. They're all in together, and they all need to do courses and all that shit. So I do believe that was why he lost it with this poor wee lassie, man. And the fucking scumbag had the cheek to appeal his sentence. Know what I mean? And I believe that he actually got a couple of years off because he pled guilty, and I believe he pled guilty because there was things he didn't want said in court. But I also believe that in cases like his, the prosecution should have just been like, listen, we're presenting all this fucking evidence anyway, you're no fucking, just show them for who they are, fuck them, know what I mean? Like, right, aye, well, to a certain extent, we should all have rights, know what I mean? But I do believe there's some things that people do that are just, I don't know, there's no coming back for it, know what I mean? And I would include anybody in that, me, if I had ever done anything so fucking crazy, man, just shoot me in the back of the fucking head. Not that I would ever do it, I know I wouldn't, but we're just talking in general terms, know what I mean? Just fucking, like, 61 fucking stab wounds, like, honestly. And I can't imagine what that poor lassie's family were going through, sitting having to fucking listen to this. Know what I mean? Having to just think of what this poor lassie went through. And I think I'd seen that back, I don't know if it still happens now, but like, I think the poor lassie's ma was being trolled online and all that. Like, who the fuck trolls, let alone somebody who'd lost their daughter in such fucking nightmarish circumstances, man. They're just pure tadgers, man, honestly. They just need their laptop shoved up their arse, if you ask me, but that's just me, innit? And I think that sometimes I do think I can be a bit too vocal about things like this, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. I'm not going to fucking no call a spade a spade. I do believe there's times and places, but at the end of the day, it's my channel and fucking I'm here to talk about like my take on crime or prisons or whatever. And obviously kind of putting it through that academic filter. Sometimes I kind of don't know if I even do that anymore, but obviously it's like if you combine street smart with academic smart, it's kind of like that. But it's just fucking horrendous to think that people out there are capable of doing shit like that, especially when you find it, if you're unlucky enough to find it in your own community, you know what I mean, or it's unlucky enough to happen to somebody you know what I mean. Don't want to say I hope the lassie's family finds closure, because I don't think, I know it's never happened to me, but I don't think you could ever find closure for something like that. Even if the perpetrator died, that wound is always there, man. So fucking horrendous, man, honest to God. But hopefully he never gets fucking it. I believe for a fact he tried to come on to her or something. You don't just stab somebody for no reason. Just doesn't happen. That's how I hear it when I see motiveless attack. Like something describes a motiveless attack. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as a motiveless attack. It might be an invalid motive, but the motive is relative, and it's like it might mean something to the person who done it. And I'm not talking about like this case. I'm talking about like if somebody like in a targeted thing, like, oh, they've battered my pals, so we need to get them back, like shit I used to do back in the day, you know what I mean? It's no good enough to the law, obviously, but there's no such thing as a motiveless attack like that, not a fucking chance. But I'm going to leave it there, but I noticed my channel went past the 3,000 sub mark, so fucking proud of yous, man, all the subbers, know what I mean? I just got an email or something about monetising my channel. I've still not even fucking done it yet, man. I just pure slow at this game, know what I mean? But got to try and, I was trying to set up a part 2 with Jerry the other night, man, because he'd done his podcast with Sean Atwood, man. It's done brilliant, 100,000 views in 6 days, know what I mean? Like fucking smashed it out of the park, man. But I was talking to him today, and I was taking my wee boy his karate grading. He got another yellow stripe on his brown belt, so well done him. So I couldn't really talk to Jerry long, know what I mean? But definitely got to get him back on. So pure proud of him, man, know what I mean? I always knew that once people heard him, it was because we used to be doing laps in the jail, and we'd be fucking just walking around the yard in the summer, and he'd just be pure hard and court, but like just telling fucking funny stories like that dentist story or whatever, and you'd just be fucking in tears of laughter. The one with the cellmate, and I'd always said to him, like, you need to write a book or something. Oh fuck, excuse me. No done that in a while. But aye, man, he's done brilliant, man. So hopefully, man, there's got to be a couple of more things happening, you know what I mean? Very big, man. So what him, he's fell asleep. So I just want to leave it there and say hope you liked that video. I know it's harrowing to think about that, but I thought I wanted to do more Scottish cases as well, know what I mean? Talk about more Scottish stuff, because it is a pure shame for the families. And to be honest, I would like to get a lot of, see, like, victims of crime on here to talk about experience as well, because but you have to, they have to be, want it and be ready for it, you know what I mean? But I would like that, and I've always said that, like, I tried to contact the lead investigator of the that limbs in the Lot case, but it's I mailed him on my Facebook Tin Pail account. Guy's name's John Gates or something. He's retired now, but can't get a hold of him. But I don't even know if he would come on anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's just at the end of the day, you can only ask, innit? Do you know what I mean? And that scumbag's up for parole, so be good to blow a fucking hole in that. I don't know how somebody like that can even get out, man. Our country's a fucking joke, innit? Nobody that's capable of that should ever get out, you know what I mean? It's just, don't care what kind of fucking restrictions he's got up his arse, man. Fuck yeah. You know what I mean? In case he's want to go out for a last hurrah, you know what I mean? The fucking rat. Just put one right in his nut, that's what he should get, you know what I mean? But who am I to say that? So I'm going to leave you there. I hope you've had a good weekend and that. Cheers for watching, and I'm going to go and put this nut job to bed, so take care everybody, good night.